So there is now the option of having the new calendar or the old calendar in your Teams. So just be aware that it can look like this, or you can have it looking as you had the older version. Just a couple of things about meetings in here. We can set up an event just the same as we have done in our diaries in Outlook. So you can set it up in Teams or in Outlook. One option that I really like using is this channel event. And what does that mean? Well, this is where it links really nicely to Teams. So in your Teams, remember we looked at setting up Teams and then setting up channels. What this would do is anybody with access to that channel will see that that meeting is happening. So whether or not you invite them per se, it will allow them to see that that meeting is happening. But a really efficient function in this as well is, unlike the recordings of your meetings that are going into your OneDrive, if you are recording meetings, it will sit in the Teams channel. So do remember that little functionality. It saved us hours of meeting recordings, putting them in the right place. And you have this additional function here of adding it into a channel, which would save it in there. Nothing else about the meeting is any different, but you're integrating Teams a lot more than just having a meeting. So that's something to consider. What you have in here will depend on your licenses. So most of the time you can create a webinar, but whether you can use all the functionality of webinars, there's lots of things in there, branding and other options that are only available for the Teams premium license. So if you are setting up a lot of webinars or doing a lot of webinars, then it may be worth you having a look at your license and what you can have. So we literally have these different functions. Really depends on how many people. Webinars, you know, several people. Town halls are meant for you to get together all your employees and just speak to everybody at once. And then you can have an ordinary virtual appointment. And a live event is for people who are doing something on a much larger scale than today. If we were broadcasting this to 1,000 people, there are numbers on all of these, then I might want to choose a live event. And webinars and live events give you that ability to set up this green room, which means that you can meet with your colleagues or your co-presenters before the meeting. Very quickly, I'll show you a couple of steps in here. So setting up a webinar, you can see it's almost like its own app. And you essentially will set up the webinar with the name that you want to call it, the date, the time, settings and everything like that in there. This description is shared. You've got organisers, you've got co-organisers, you've got other presenters and the ability to add external presenters as well. You can even put in bios, add themes, but one of the things that is useful is that you can almost automate the process of somebody booking on, receiving an email, getting a reminder. And if you've got the right license, all of those can be edited as well with your own message of what it is going to be. And then following the webinar, you've got the reports, you've got the recordings, etc., and you can almost publish it as a little site for the webinar. So I don't know if anybody uses any of those functions. So let me clear my filters in my calendar, just so that you can see my calendar properly. So it's the same as Outlook, really. It's interesting whether you use your Outlook or whether you use your Teams. So pretty much, you know, you've got the same functionality in here. We've also got this button as well, which says Meet Now. And that would start an instant Teams meeting. I won't do it because that would really confuse the system. And I can invite people to that meeting, just literally setting it up on the fly. It's a little bit like if you're in a chat and you can just start a live video meeting from there. So all of these do sort of fit together quite nicely. We've got both of those options.